Hello, my name is Leif Clevenger, and today I'll be demonstrating how to change the strings on your guitar. Now, before we get started, I'd like to discuss why would you want to change the strings on your guitar? I mean, a guitar comes with perfectly good strings. What's the point of ever changing them? Well, you see, guitar strings aren't necessarily meant to last forever. If you look closely on mine here, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of dirt getting built up, and I notice that they're not starting to not sound as good. When a string gets old, the life kind of comes out of it and it starts to sound a little dull. So changing your strings is a good way to keep up on your tone. Plus, once they get old, they start to break. If you notice your strings are breaking, then that means it's a time for you to change your new strings. I would say that for a beginner guitarist, learning how to change the strings on your guitar is a crucial step and one of the most important parts of guitar maintenance for you to learn about. So let's dive right in. First thing we're gonna look at here on this guitar are the strings. I use an electric guitar, so I'm gonna be choosing electric guitar strings. The strings I'm going with today are the Ernie Ball Mammoth Slinkies. I like the Mammoth Slinkies because they're a little bit thicker than a usual string, and they're made out of nickel. Another common material that people like would be stainless steel. I choose nickel because it's a little bit brighter, and I just prefer the tone of it. So once you've decided which strings are right for you, then you can get started. Once you've got that, first step of starting your stringing is to take the old strings off. So the first thing we're gonna do is using these tuning pegs, we're gonna turn all the strings down really loose and really floppy. So once we get them down there, they'll be all nice and floppy. Once you've got them to this point, you're gonna get your wire cutters and you're gonna go in down here near the middle and just go ahead and cut them. Just like that. And they'll cut right off. Once you've got them cut, it should be pretty easy to take them out. The bottom half, you'll see here, we will be slipping through these holes in the bottom. And those will all be out. Then, for the top half, we'll be removing them out of these tuning pegs and out of our way. These strings you can throw away. Once you've got your old dull strings, they're no use to you anymore, so we can just go ahead and get rid of them. What I like to do once I've got to this point is, this gives me a really good opportunity to clean my guitar. Once the strings are off, it gives me access to most of the guitar's body and the fretboard and the pickups too. So you can see now that all the strings are off, there's a little bit of a dirt that has accumulated on this board here, and you'll notice that back here, there's a little bit of dirt that's accumulated there too. So I like to grab either a rag or some shop towels, and I'll go ahead and just give it a quick wipe down to get all the dirt and grime off there. Once we've got that, we gotta start putting the new strings on. So we're gonna bust into this package. And the good thing about these is a lot of times they'll label them for you, so you know which string is which. So 6-string guitar, I've got 6 strings in here. To put them on, it's basically the same process that we did for taking them off. So you're gonna get the string out and unwind it. Once you've got it unwound, you're gonna take it back through where we saw before. On the back of the guitar, you're gonna take the first string and you're gonna put it through the first hole right here. I almost put in the wrong one. First string goes through the first hole and you'll pull it all the way through. You'll notice there's a little eyelet here at the end, and that's what's gonna keep it from coming through any further. So once you get it pulled, pull it nice and tight, make sure it's through all the way. Then we're gonna come back around to the front, and we're gonna bring the string up to the tuning peg right here. And you'll see these little holes here. That's where we're gonna insert the string. So we'll take our string and insert it into the hole. Just like that. Pull it through, and you're gonna wanna pull it not too tight, but just tight enough that it's about as tight as you can pull it with your hand. And then you're gonna wanna make sure to line the string up with that groove right there. And once that's lined up, you're gonna hold it there, and you're gonna tune this back up. And you don't need to get it perfectly in tune, you just wanna get it nice and tight. And while you're doing this, you wanna kinda check and make sure that it's resting in on the grooves on this side and still resting in on the groove on this side. Once you've got those rested in, we'll go ahead and crank it up until it's nice and tight. There we go. Now that we've got it nice and tight, we'll go ahead and continue on adding on all the strings. We've got 5 more to go. Once we get all those on, our guitar will look like this once we've got all the strings here. And you're gonna notice we've got all this little extra string that's come through because they wanna give us a little extra, so we've got enough room to wrap them on there. Now you'll see, I usually do 1 wrap on mine, so I leave them through, wrap them around once I've got them pulled tight, get them tuned up, and once we'll have there, we've got all these extras on the end. Once we get to there, we're just gonna take our wire cutters from before, do the same thing and just snip them right off. Right there, just like like that. You don't want to get too close because you don't want to damage it or have it come falling out. So I usually leave just about 2 centimeters right there, just like that. We'll go ahead and do that with all the strings. And once you get that, your guitar will look nice and clean. Now the final step you're gonna wanna do is making sure your guitar is in tune. I like to use one of these. It's a tuner pedal. This is really nice because you can plug your guitar right in and it tunes it for you. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you learned a lot from here. Once you got your guitar all up and tuned, you're ready to go.